Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're unpacking a really provocative text today called The Divine Mirror, Finding God Within the Self. It's this remarkably dense piece that just completely upends traditional frameworks of spirituality and honestly, how we view daily adversity. We're going to look at exactly what this text says, how it defines our internal world, and the pretty radical demands it places on how we actually live our lives. Okay, let's dive into this. How powerful is your God? Now, you might be wondering, if you were to ask most people this, they'd probably point to the cosmos, right? To the infinite, some external force that holds ultimate sway over the universe. But the source material we're examining today, it takes that expectation and just flips it entirely on its head. It forces us to stop looking outward and instead look entirely inward. It's asking us to measure the divine not by the scale of the universe, but by a completely different metric. The text establishes its core philosophy right out of the gate with this absolute bombshell of a claim. Your God is only as powerful as you are. I'm going to read that again just to let the philosophical weight of it sink in. Your God is only as powerful as you are. It completely removes the whole idea of a passive human experience. The divine isn't some limitless force acting independently of you. Instead, it's inextricably linked to your own personal agency, your own strength, and your own capacity. If you're weak, well, your God is weak. If you're powerful, your God is powerful. You can't just surrender to a higher power to fix things, because according to this text, the power of that higher entity is literally capped by your own personal limits. And this brilliantly illustrates how the author takes this massive cosmic idea and maps it directly onto the deeply personal. I believe that our mind is God who resides in a temple called our body. Right here, the text gives us the definitive key to its entire philosophy. It explicitly defines God as our own human mind, the seat of consciousness, of decision-making, of perception. That is the ultimate power in this framework. And if the mind is the divine, well, where does it live? It resides in the physical structure we carry around with us every single day. Let's actually isolate that specific word for a second, temple. In this context, the body isn't just, biology or flesh and bone. By defining it as a temple, the text demands we treat our physical form with a real sense of sanctity. If the mind, which is God, lives inside, then the physical maintenance of the body directly impacts the divine within it. It requires us to completely reframe how we view our physical health and our literal physical presence in the world. So how does this internal God interact with us? The text continues with this. God takes care of people who take care of themselves and helps others selflessly. Notice the highly conditional nature of this statement. Divine care in this framework, it's not some unconditional free gift showered on you regardless of what you do. It's actually more like a strict contractual agreement. Your mind is only going to take care of you if you meet very specific actionable criteria. So the crucial point here is that this philosophy demands action. We can break the text prerequisites down into two really distinct steps. Step 1, you must take care of yourself. You've got to maintain the temple, nurture the mind, and make sure your own foundation is rock solid. Step 2, you must help others selflessly. You can't just be a closed loop. You have to extend yourself outward without any expectation of a reward. It's only when these two steps are actively engaged that the God, your mind, takes care of you. It's absolutely crucial to look at the incredible balance demanded by the text here. It's almost like a giant puzzle. On one side, we have taking care of themselves. This is entirely an inward focus, right? It's all about self-reliance, boundaries, and preservation. But then, on the other side, we have helps others selflessly. This is entirely outward. It's about altruism, community, and giving. The source text is basically saying that true power and true divine care is found perfectly in the friction between these two extremes. If you only care for yourself, you fail the condition. If you only care for others at the expense of yourself, you also fail. You have to sustain the temple while simultaneously pouring out from it. Which brings us to a really intense shift in the source text. God is showing you who you are by presenting you with the situations and opportunities that test you and question your ability. The stakes of the human experience suddenly get incredibly high here. Think about it. The adversity you face, the sudden opportunities that terrify you, those moments where you feel completely out of your depth. The text tells us these aren't just random accidents of the universe. No way. They are highly curated presentations. But let's pause and ask this. How does this God, this internal mind, actually show you who you are? I mean, if the mind is trapped inside the temple of the body, how does it reveal your true nature to your conscious self? It can't exactly just send you a memo, right? It needs a mechanism to make the internal visible. The text answers this directly by presenting situations and opportunities that test you. In this framework, that unexpected challenge at work or a sudden personal crisis isn't a punishment. It's not bad luck. It's a mirror. It is explicitly designed by the mind or drawn to you by the mind to force a reaction. Because it's only in the reaction to the test that your true capacity and your true power is finally brought to light. Let's move to and see how this builds, because the text gives us a very specific matrix of adversity. The tools of revelation basically come in 4 distinct combinations derived directly from the text. First up, situations that test you. These are the everyday circumstances you just find yourself in. Second, opportunities that test you. These are doors that open up, requiring you to step up to the plate. Third, situations that question your ability. And finally, opportunities that question your ability. Literally, every hurdle you face falls into one of these categories of revelation. Now, what's really fascinating about this distinction is the philosophical nuance between a test and a questioning. The text deliberately separates these two concepts. A thing that tests you is pretty straightforward. It measures your current strength, your current knowledge. You either pass or you fail. But a situation or opportunity that questions your ability is way deeper. It introduces real existential doubt. It makes you ask, am I actually capable of this? It forces you to confront the very limits of your perceived power, which is effectively questioning the power of the God within you. So, we've seen how the text maps out the divine strictly within the bounds of our own minds, residing in the temples of our bodies, earning its own care through self-maintenance and altruism. And we've seen how it uses the external world as a rigorous testing ground to reveal our true nature. So, what does this all mean for us? Well, I leave you with this final thought to take away from today's explainer. According to the Divine Mirror, the next time you face a massive hurdle, just remember that it's simply a presentation designed to show you to yourself. When the next situation questions your ability, what will the mirror show?